6 returns in Little Nightmare 3? Did Lone Alone come from the Maw? Is 6 in the DLC? Is this one of the guests? Does this break the fourth wall? Will this iconic character finally get revenge? After trudging through the murky Maw, prevailing over menacing monsters, and seizing the lady's powers, 6 ascends into freedom. The sight of the open waters washes over her in waves of euphoria, as she reflects on her time in that claustrophobic hell. This is the post-credit scene of Little Nightmares 1. 6 stands outside the Maw, waiting patiently for the ship to arrive. And sure enough, we hear a foghorn, polluting the air with its reassuring groans. But where does this boat take 6? Is her insatiable hunger still squirming to be satisfied, or has it consumed her entirely? The foghorn heavily implies that 6 boards the boat that transports guests to and from the Maw. Out-of-bounds footage of the demo shows that this is the very same ship Lone Alone awaken at the start of the game. But why is it in the middle of the desert? And where is 6? As Lone Alone make their way to the Necropolis, a Maw guest can be seen with his face submerged in the sand, reinforcing the idea that this is the exact same ship from Little Nightmares 1. This is strengthened by the mirror in the alpha build, which is also seen in the lady's quarters. All of this points to one conclusion. 6 stowed away on the ship after escaping the Maw, and Lone Alone must be prisoners too, who managed to escape once 6 cleared the way. The ship taking them to the Necropolis suggests that this is where the guests come from, before they succumb to their gluttony. Our geoscalar wall with fishnets, insinuating that this ancient wind-powered city used to be surrounded by water, until an unknown force vaporized it. I doubt this is Monster Baby's doing, as her powers seem to be limited to turning living things into stone, and she resides within the walls, only responsible for the devastation inside it. But we never see the extent of 6's powers upon ripping them from the lady. Is it possible that the water is her doing? In an attempt to fulfill her insatiable hunger, she progresses from devouring animals, monsters, to the world and sea itself. This aligns with the corruption 6 absorbed from defeating the lady, which potentially influenced her violent acts and pursuit of betrayal, leaving her former companion, Mono, in a perpetual state of suffering. Will this cycle ever end? It's also worth noting that the guest is perfectly preserved. For it to show no signs of decomposition in a literal desert, he must have died moments before Lone Alone discovered him. This makes it all the more likely that we will see 6 in this chapter. She's not a ghost, she's just one step ahead of us. However, the pre-order bonus features Shadow 6 costumes, which would make any encounter with her feel fourth wall breaking if you're wearing the outfit, almost like Lone Alone are cosplaying as 6. But if she's referenced in any way, this chapter is the most likely to feature 6 due to the many hints presented here. But what if I told you there was a character even more likely to make a return? Speaking of the costumes, I found it interesting that the most iconic characters and monsters got their own outfits. 6, the lady, the chefs, and the hunter. But one key character is missing: Mono. Even the gnomes got their own costume, but Mono, one of the most iconic characters in the entire franchise, is neglected? Something doesn't add up. Perhaps this was an intentional omission, as if Mono returned in Little Nightmare 3, a costume would undermine that reveal, breaking the fourth wall in the process. The DLC does hint at playable characters besides Lone Alone, with the quote new perspectives, and the DLC cover art depicting Lo on his own. This suggests that at least one of the 2 DLCs will feature a new companion. This is supported by Mono's inclusion in the new comic series, confirming that his story isn't over. Will Mono finally get to enact vengeance on the monster that betrayed him?